the State of Israel shall take effective measures to prevent the destruction and ensure the preservation of evidence related to allegations of acts within the scope of Article 2 and Article 3.
Siphumelele isimangalo seSouth Africa ekhotho yezobulungiswa yentshabatshaba lapho yadosela khona iIsrael isola ngokuthi batsho ibulala abantu ngokuningi eGaza.
We are saying the human rights and the dignity of the people of Palestine is secure and safe in the hands of South Africa.
Sithe bona sizwakala isahlulelo sekhotho le inhlangano ngokwahlukahlukana kwazo zazwakalisa amazizo.
We played already 2 times against them. In Morocco, okay, we were a little bit dominated, but at Joburg we won against them.
Ibafana Bafana ithi ifuna ukweqa njengamabhalabhala nayihlangana neMorocco emidlalweni wokukhuphana eSan Pedro ngelesibili. Kaba kuhle ukuhlanganisa izindaba kodwa ku SABC 1 ngesindebele lotshani. Ikhotho yezobulungiswa yentshabatshaba yethule isahlulelo sokuba neIsrael ithatha amagadango okukhandela nokujezisa izenzo zokuhayilwa kwabantu.
Kasi Israel barbatayisa emahlweni batisirelela enza ka minhlaselo hintla wa Hamas ingweti ya Nhlangula n'Washemu.
This case was very much about international bodies ensuring that they exercise their responsibility to protect us all as global citizens. All member states of the United Nations have attached their signatures to a range of instruments. But when lives are threatened, these instruments are not brought to bear. And South Africa had the view that we could not stand idly by and continue to observe the killing of thousands of Palestinian citizens who had no role in the awful act of hostage-taking and killing that was done by Hamas.
This is a victory for the international rule of law and also for the children, the women and the vulnerable people of Gaza. It's also an assertion of a long-standing South Africa's positions with regards to the United Nations positions. And as you are aware, the Freedom Charter declared that there must be peace and prosperity across the globe. So this is a humbling experience for our country. I do believe that Nelson Mandela will be smiling in his grave.
It is for the first time that South Africa has taken extraordinary measures like this. But over and above that, there was no way that we can pull back. South Africa remembers that the people of Palestine cannot be forsaken. But we again applaud the huge spirit of solidarity around the globe that is with us in condemning what is happening in the Middle East, particularly the Israeli perpetrated war against the Palestinian people.
This is a historic day. Palestine welcomes the momentous order by the International Court of Justice. This order means that the court recognized the gravity of the situation and was convinced by South Africa's compelling presentation that was based on law and fact that there are plausible cause to believe that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. It means that the cries and suffering of our people in Gaza have been heard in the Great Hall of Justice.
President Cyril Ramaphosa uri Afrika-Dzonga ri amukela xiboho xa khoto ya matiko ya misava hi mayelana na xikombelo xa tiko ehenhleni ka Israel. Afrika-Dzonga va vula leswaku khoto yi lerise Israel ku yima ku hlasela Gaza.
As the South African government, we welcome the decision of the International Court of Justice. We note the court's statement that it is acutely aware of the extent of the human tragedy that is unfolding in the region and is deeply concerned about the continuing loss of life and human suffering, and that the catastrophic humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip is at serious risk of deteriorating further before the court renders its final judgment. We welcome the measures that the court ordered by a majority decision, ruling that The Israeli military should not commit acts of genocide against Palestinians. Israel should take all measures to prevent and punish incitement to genocide. Furthermore, it should take immediate and effective measures to allow basic services and humanitarian assistance in the form of food, medication, and other basic necessities to Gaza, and it should also preserve evidence of what is happening in Gaza. And lastly, it should submit a report within a month on all measures taken to give effect to the ICJ order within 1 month. This order is binding on Israel and must be respected by all states that are party to the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. We expect Israel, as a self-proclaimed democracy and a state that respects the rule of law, to abide by the measures handed down by the International Court of Justice. After more than half a century of occupation, dispossession, oppression, and apartheid, the Palestinian people's cries for justice have been heeded by an eminent organ of the United Nations. Today, Israel stands before the international community, its crimes against the Palestinians laid bare. Since October last year, the people of Gaza have been the victims of bombardment and strikes from land, sea, and air. Homes, refugee camps, and entire neighborhoods have been destroyed, and not even schools and hospitals and religious places have been spared. The people of Gaza have been deprived of electricity, fuel, food, and medical supplies. According to the United Nations, more than 25,000 people have been killed during Israel's war with Hamas. And we hold the view that this has been collective punishment against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Among the dead are relief workers, United Nations staff who have died in their hundreds, as well as journalists who have also died in their hundreds. More than 16,000 of the dead are women and children. In October 2020,
kasi loko angule ka xiboxa khoto ya matiko ya misava holobyenkulu wa Israel Benjamin Netanyahu u ri mfumo wu ta endla hinkwaswo leswi kotekaka ku sirhelela vaaki va Israel eka mihlaselo ya Hamas.
Israel's commitment to international law is unwavering. Equally unwavering is our sacred commitment to continue to defend our country and defend our people. Like every country, Israel has an inherent right to defend itself. The vile attempt to deny Israel this fundamental right is blatant discrimination against the Jewish state, and it was justly rejected. The charge of genocide leveled against Israel is not only false, it's outrageous, and decent people everywhere should reject it. On the eve of the International Holocaust Remembrance Day, I again pledge as Israel's Prime Minister, never again. Israel will continue to defend itself against Hamas, a genocidal terror organization. On October 7th, Hamas perpetrated the most horrific atrocities against the Jewish people since the Holocaust, and it vows to repeat these atrocities again and again and again. Our war is against Hamas terrorists, not against Palestinian civilians. We will continue to facilitate humanitarian assistance and to do our utmost to keep civilians out of harm's way, even as Hamas uses civilians as human shields. We will continue to do what is necessary to defend our country and defend our people.
Kasi khale ka mulori wa ntshunxeko mfundhisi Busak u ri xiboxa namuntlha ya ICJ xi nge vi makumu ya nyimpi ya vaaki va Palestina ya ku lwela ntshunxeko wa vona. Busak u ri Mapalestina va ni mfanelo yo tisirhelela eka mihlaselo ya tihanyi hi mfumo wa Israel.
Israel knows that it is not possible to oppress people for 75 years, to steal their land, to murder their children, and not expect them to rise up against that oppression. It is human nature. My faith tells me that the longing for freedom and justice is placed in our hearts by God. And so if that is true, it's a divine thing to rise up. If you think that you can do all of what is happening to Palestine and there will not be a day of reckoning, that goes for Netanyahu, that goes for especially Joe Biden, then you are a fool. That's what the Bible says, and that's what I believe, and that's what I said today.
Kasi vandla ra Democratic Alliance va lava leswaku ku ntshunxiwa vakhomela nandzu lava nga tlhakisiwa eka nyimpi exikarhi ka Hamas na Israel. Vandla ri tlhela ri koxa leswaku matlhelo vumbirhi ya sungula minkanerisano ya ku rhula.
The DA has noted the judgment handed down by the ICJ today in respect of interim measures. Those interim measures are, of course, designed to ensure that Israel submits a report that will outline what measures it will take to prevent acts of genocide or contraventions of the Genocide Convention. It is the DA's long-standing position that now is the time for both parties to come to the negotiating table and to build the conditions to lasting peace. The DA sees the way that this will happen in terms of course, the immediate release of hostages must be a priority. All hostages taken on and after the 7th must be returned.
Khotonkulu ya Pitori yi gwebe 30 wa malembe ka vadlaya van'wamabindzu wa le Northwest Wandile Bozwana, n'wamabindzu wa le Mamelodi Vusi Khekhe Mathibela na vahihlwakulobye Sipho Hudla, Robert Mutapa na Bonkosi Khumalo va tlhele va gwebiwa 10 ra malembe hi un'we eka nandzu wa ku ringeta ku dlaya. Mpho Baloyi loyi a ri na kulobye wa xibindzu wa Bozwana na malembe mambirhi ya nandzu wa ku kumeka na swibalesa na maqulu leswi nga riki enawini.
Ntengo lowu nga teka nkarhi wo leha hi ku kavanyetiwa no hundziseriwa emahlweni loko a karhi a nyika xigwebo muavanyisi Papi Musupa u ri nkarhi wa ku tala wu tirhisiwe ku va ku yimeriwa swiviko swa leswi vahehliwa va gweveriwe swona ro sungula i swiviko leswi nga teka ku hundza lembe ku va swi hetisisiwa. Va ri mune a va khomeriwe milandzu yo dlaya hi Khotavuxika 2022 leyi va nga yi endla hi 2015 kambe sweswi va ta tshama malembe yo tala ekhotsweni.
All the accused are sentenced to 30 years imprisonment. Count 2, which is attempted murder, all the accused are sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Count 3, unlawful possession of firearm, all the accused are sentenced to 6 years imprisonment.
Muavanyisi Musupa u ri xivangelo xa ku va va dlayile a xi nga tekeriwi enhlokweni hi khoto hikuva va ale ku nyika vumbhoni hi nkarhi wa ntengo. Boti wa Bozwana u amukele xiboho xa khoto kambe u te xo vava eku vanhu lava nga rhuma vadlayi va ha ri ehandle.
I'm happy as a family about the outcome of the sentence today because remember the judge gave them 30 years direct imprisonment plus 10 years plus 8 years. In total is 48 years. And to me that's satisfying because life is 25 years in prison. Although I'm happy, I'm at the same time not happy because this will not bring my brother back. But as a family, we feel that justice was done here on the part of the killers. But justice has not been done yet to the people who ordered this killing.
Bozwana a ri na ku kanetana na mfumo wa Northwest hi kontraka ya kwalomu ka 30 miliyoni wa tirandi hi nkarhi lowu a nga dlawa ha wona.
Hiya eka ntengo wa meyiwa laha hi twaka leswaku nkandziyiso wa siku ra 5 Nyenyankulu 2021 wu paluxa leswaku muhehliwa wa vumbirhi eka ku tengiwa ka ku dlawa ka Senzo Meyiwa Bongani Ntanzi u hlongole gqwetha rakwe Dominic Mjiyako. U ri xivangelo i ku Ntanzi u lava leswaku a tivona nandzu eka ku dlaya mutlangi wa bolo u ri u ta tirhisa magqwetha ya mfumo.
Mikandziso ya khoto yi komba leswaku gqweta ra Ntanzi Dominic Mjiyako u n'wi yimele kusukela loko nandzu wu sungula ku fikela eka ntshamo wa vunharhu wa khoto loko Ntanzi a n'wi hlongola. Nkarhi lowu nga hundza khoto yi twe leswaku Ntanzi a n'wi tivi Mjiyako, kambe vachuchisi va vula leswaku Mjiyako a ri kona loko Ntanzi a nhlambuluka ra vumbirhi. Khoto yi twe leswaku Mjiyako a zalele mufambisi wa vuchuchisi bya mfumo laha nga vula leswaku Ntanzi u hlawule ku tirhisa vukorhokeri bya legal aid nakona a ku vanga na tihakelo ta vukorhokeri bya yena, kambe Ntanzi u ri Mjiyako u fanele ku vulavula ntiyiso mayelana leswi a nga n'wi byela leswaku u fanele a pfumelela nandzu.
Let's postpone this matter up to Tuesday because I don't want us to come to choose Monday and hear stories that the documents, hey. Postpone the matter to Tuesday. That's okay. Because according to you, the transcripts will be finished on Monday.
Yes.
So Monday, if they are finished, we've got to read those transcripts. And Tuesday, we proceed with this matter.
Those are good places.
Advocate George Baloyi u vula leswaku matsalwa ya nkandziyiso ma ta va kona hi Musumbhunuko laha magqweta ya nga ta ya hlayahlaya. Ntengo wu ta emahlweni ra vumbirhi vhiki leri taka.
Hi se mahlweni mahungu ya SABC. Vaaki va ndhawu ya Marite eBushbuckridge exifundzeninkulu xa Mpumalanga va vilerisa hi ku tlakuka ka vugevenga eka ndhawu ya vona. Hosi ya vona Lamek Mokoena u kombela leswaku mfumo wu nghenelela. Ndzawulo ya makhotso hi ku tirhisana na maphorisa ya xifundzankulu va ve na nhlengeletano erivaleni ra mitlangu ra Marite ku lemukisa vaaka ndhawu hi vugevenga. Leswi ta endzhaku loko vatirhi vambirhi va le khotsweni va hlaseriwe ni ku tlhela va dlayiwa.
Vaaka ndhawu lava hlaseriwaka va lava mfumo wu nghenelela. Vanhu lava tshamaka laha Marite va hanya ku chaveni laha va tlhelaka va chava ku mangala vugevenga emaphoriseni.
But unfortunately, my community are afraid to report because immediately they report, they are being targeted. The question is, who is telling these people that Khoshibukona is the one who reported you to the police? And we are hopeful that today, maybe our ancestors and our God will hear us because people are living in fear in this area.
Hosi Mokoena u kombela maphorisa ni huvo ya vuchuchisi ku tirhisana ku va va ta humelela eka ku tengisa vahehliwa. Commissioner wa maphorisa exifundzeninkulu Mpumalanga Simakaleng Manamela u kombela vaaka ndhawu ku tirhisa tindlela tin'wana ku mangala vugevenga ku ri ni ku ya hi voxe emaphoriseni.
Suggestion boxes are all over. All the stations of Mpumalanga, the suggestion boxes are there. So because we are not interested more or many in names, but we are interested in information. So even the informers that we are having, if the information is concrete, we do have the witness protection that we are ordinarily giving to the community. So there is no need to panic when the information is there.
Swikolo swo tala swi hundzuke ndhawu yo tlangela ya swigevenga. Vadyondzi hi vona lava swigevenga swi nga na xikongomelo xo va xanisa ni van'wana lava nga ta eka imbizo.
When we look at the crime statistics, we have realized that young people are the ones that are perpetuating crime in this area. And also generally, we would want to start there by planting a seed that is positive. So our market is young people. We want to make it a point that we redirect them from crime into developmental projects.
Ku vumbiwe ntlawa lowu nga ta veka tihlo ndhawu leyi ya Marite.
Randi yi tiyelerile loko yi pimanisiwa na timali ta matiko ya misava. Nxavo dolara i R2.20, pondo i R23.88, euro i R20, kasi pula ya Botswana i R1.37. Minkavelo ka JSE a yi ri ehenhla namuntlha. Nsuku i $2,020 hi awunsi, platinum i $909 hi awunsi. Nxavo oil mbisi $83.78 hi mphongolo. Ngwazi ya tennis Novak Djokovic u ri ku humesiwa ka yena eka ti-semifinal ta mphikizano wa Australian Open hi Jannik Sinner i ntlangu wo khomisa tingana eka matimu yakwe tanihi mutlangi. Sinner u hlule Djokovic eka mune wa tisete eMelbourne namuntlha.